Welcome to another scriptural study. In this scriptural study, we will be searching further into the scriptural star known as the morning star, which is known as Hamal, as only the very few believe represents, from an astronomical standpoint, the first fruits lamb. Yes, the Messiah YaHUsHua. And we will also be searching out something that the many ignore, and regrettably, the many unsuccessfully attempt to usurp and or hide year after year. And it is known as the 177 day count, as we read in the book of Hanok, known as Enoch today, in which it states that in the first portal in its season, which is the first day of the first month of Abib, we then are to count 177 days and or 25 weeks and 2 days. So, does this starting point, yes, this first portal in its season of this 177 day count, have anything to do with the first day of the first month of Abib? And then, of course, 177 days later, would that bring us to the first day of the seventh month on the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH annually? Because isn't it true, astronomically, that when Bereans utilize all of the scriptural stars in perfect harmony with the greater and lesser light, and of course, with the three-witness scriptural approach, which can be forecasted in advance and proven in the shamayim, truly then, and only then, does this reveal why knowledge night after night exists, year after year? And as always, these scriptural studies are intended to recognize and thus appreciate with extreme thanks given to YaHUaH that every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from our Father of lights, with whom there is no change nor shadow of turning. Well, let's get started, because there have been various requests from Bereans who have a desire to prove all things in creation for themselves, by numbering all of their days with pen and paper, with how the sun, moon, and stars align to tell time, which can provide a full understanding and appreciation of the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH. As always, please ensure your mobile phone and our computer screens are on full screen mode. And please, stop the video at any time to further focus on the scriptural, astronomical, and historical witnesses and or evidence being shared. So, and as per this past scriptural study video on what is Abib and the true turn of the year, which further highlights both scripturally and astronomically how to accurately pinpoint the first day of the first month of Abib, as the moon does indeed rule with the stars, including the star known as Abib and or Spica today, which lets us know with precise accuracy when the first month, let alone when the seventh month commences year after year. Just like this annual witness with the scriptural star known as the morning star. Again, with its precise accuracy, which reveals the first day of the first month annually. And as well, where it will be on the first day of the seventh month, as we just covered in greater detail in this recent clip. Yes, that wonderful morning star, the Lamb, who is the bright morning star, that was in its proper position with the greater and lesser light, and aligned with the rest of the scriptural stars this year for a first day, first month of Abib celestial sign, just as it does every year. Hallelujah, that our Father of lights, YaHUaH himself, reveals annually the scriptural star known as Abib and the morning star, let alone their wonderful relationship in the shamayim year after year for a first day, first month, celestial sign, along with the rest of the scriptural stars that make up this repetitive pattern, again, for an annual first month of Abib celestial sign, just as it was in the pagan year 2019, 2018, let alone almost 2,000 years ago. And yes, the obvious question next is, what happens with the morning star 6 months later? And or, as Hanok stated, 177 days later, which equates to 25 weeks plus 2 days. Of course, the morning star known as the Lamb will now be, indeed, setting in the morning as the morning star would, on the opposite side of the celestial clock as this forecast highlights, within this pagan year of 2020. Just as we witnessed in the shamayim in 2019. Let alone how anyone could have witnessed this almost 2,000 years ago, and or any year for that matter, in the past, up to and including this day, and or better stated, this particular scriptural age. Hallelujah for the Lamb! Yes, that bright morning star. Again, please watch these 2 scriptural study videos as they go into greater detail on this very important scriptural subject matter, with the relationship of the scriptural stars, as in alignment with the greater and lesser lights, as it relates to telling time, more specifically, the appointed times of YaHUaH, our Father of lights. Because how did Hanok know in advance about the 177 days between the first day of the first month of Abib compared to the first day of the 7th month of Yom Teruah, or Trumpets? And more importantly, how did he measure it? What if we just did what Hanok did, with measuring and or numbering our days with the scriptural lights? Did he measure a non-scriptural Babylonian crescent moon and or a conjunction moon phase? Of course not. He measured his days in the light, the full light of a full moon, being 100% illuminated with the morning star, didn't he? As an example, what if we numbered our days when the moon became 100% illuminated? Again, from when the moon becomes 100% illuminated before its announcement of the first day of Abib, all the way up to when the moon becomes 100% illuminated before announcing the first day of the 7th month of Yom Teruah. Because with this measurement, with the full light of the full moon, always equate to 177 days, let alone, as Hanok reckoned, 25 weeks plus 2 days, which equals 177 days? Again, just as Hanok stated. For this exercise, there are many free programs that anyone can utilize to measure, calculate, and or number your days with. And yes, with measuring the full light with the starting point of a 100% illuminated full moon. We enjoy utilizing this free site from World's Last Chance, as it provides everything under one platform, such as the dawn and dusk time periods for each day, sunrise and sunset times daily, along with the moonrise and moonset time periods daily as well. And yes, it provides the percent illumination of the moon by the minute daily. Another excellent feature is the moon altitude graph in degrees by day, by minute, which can be very helpful. Regrettably, though, this is only a two-witness group, and or worse yet, still utilizes a Roman Gregorian model. And even worse yet, starts their months in the dark, as they ignore the third witnesses of light, with the scriptural stars. So, as we can see here, the moon became 100% full on the pagan day of Tuesday, April 7th, 2020, at 6:05 p.m. in my area, and finished or concluded being 100% illuminated by 2:44 a.m. in my area on the pagan day of Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. Hallelujah, the first day of the month of Abib was on this day. Yes, praise YaHUaH and his full light. Yes, this additional witness of full light that further helps to establish why New Moon Day is the same day everywhere on earth. More on this later. And hallelujah that it is always all of the scriptural witnesses of light that establishes days, months, and years, just as they did once again this year for the latest first day of Abib celestial sign. So, again, what would happen if we numbered our days with the Hanok 177 day count, starting from when the moon became 100% full this year for Abib, and all the way up to the 100% illuminated full moon time period for Yom Teruah and or Trumpets, which is the first day of the 7th month? Well, let's count it out, utilizing the same approach with the full light. Yes, the 100% illumination time period of a full moon phase, which further helps to establish each new moon day, let alone for the first day of the 7th month of Yom Teruah, which is forecasted this year to be on the pagan day of Friday, October 2nd, 2020. So again, how many days is it from when the moon became full, yes, 100% illuminated from Abib, to when the moon became 100% illuminated and thus further witnessing why and when the first day of the 7th month of Yom Teruah would be established everywhere on earth? So for this exercise in proving the 177 day count of Hanok, we utilize the timeanddate.com platform with their easy-to-use day counter system from one date to another date. And so, of course, we plugged in the date when the moon became 100% full for the first month of Abib this year. And then, of course, when the moon is forecasted to become 100% full for the 7th month of Yom Teruah this year. And, as we can plainly see, let alone prove, yes it is, 177 days, just as Hanok stated. And or as Hanok reckoned in weeks, yes, 25 weeks plus 2 days, which equals 177 days. Again, just like Hanok stated and the heavens verify. Just as the bright morning star reveals from Abib to Yom Teruah. And yes, there was no difference in 2019. Because when we number our days with the full light of the full moon from Abib to the first day of the 7th month of Yom Teruah, again, just as we see here in 2019, with the full light, yes, a 100% fully illuminated moon, because there was no surprise in the pagan year of 2019 just why the full light, yes, the 100% full moon of Abib to the 100% full moon of Yom Teruah once again equated to 177 days. And or as Hanok reckoned, in weeks, 25 weeks, plus 2 days, which equates to a total of 177 days. Isn't it just scripturally and astronomically wonderful that anyone for themselves can indeed prove all things, but only when they utilize all of the scriptural witnesses of light, along with the full light of the full moon, in order to forecast and number our days accurately and precisely. And hallelujah for those noble Bereans who humble themselves, because they search out the bigger thoughts and bigger ways of the Father of lights and his perfect gifts of light from above, as they do not lean on their own understanding, but rather they number their days by trusting the Father of lights alone, and prove it with all of his perfect gifts. Yes, with all of the Father of lights scriptural witnesses of light. Yes, those perfect gifts from above, which includes the morning star, and thus why Hanok's 177-day count, as recorded in chapter 79, verse 4, is so reliable year after year. Because Hanok as well did not lean on his own understanding either, but trusted in YaHUaH alone, and thus properly measured all of the perfect scriptural witnesses of light from above to prove how to number his days. Again, pick any year with the full 100% illuminated light of a full moon, as aligned with the scriptural stars in which the moon rules with. And yes, utilize various programs, as in this case, with stellarium. And, as in this example and our witness, all the way back to the Common Era of AD 31. And again, there will be no surprise, because when you walk in the light, the full light, Hanok and his count of 177 days, as reckoned in weeks, was indeed 25 weeks plus 2 days, which equates, once again, to 177 days. And so it is with this highway of set-apartness. As all who do indeed desire to walk in the full light from new moon day to new moon day and Sabbath to Sabbath shall come and worship before the Father of lights, with whom there is no change nor shadow of turning. And isn't this why it is only the very few who trust YaHUaH alone? When he states, and I quote, "Day and night should not change their order, nor cease forever." End of quote. And is it true then? why only the very few are aware of when the full moon starts being 100% illuminated and finishes being 100% illuminated, and also why the very few are only aware of how and why our Father of Lights gives equal full light to everyone, everywhere on earth for each and every new moon day, and just why the very few only knew why the pagan day of Saturday, June 6, 2020, was the first day of the third month on the celestial clock and calendar of YaHUaH everywhere, as these perfect gifts of light are from above? Furthermore, is it not true that the very few do not lean on their own understanding, but trust YaHUaH alone? Yes, our Father of Lights, with all of his scriptural witnesses of light, with whom there is no change nor shadow of turning. Yes, we thank those Bereans from the various scriptural study assemblies all over earth that we are privileged to participate in, as they have shared that knowing is not enough, as we must apply, and that our will is not enough, as we all must do, without haste, but knowing when to rest. Because, and regrettable as it is, the many of this world do not desire the imagination for reality. Because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life, and there are few who find it. Because, is it true that there are concrete reasons why only the few find the gate that is narrow? And is it true that one of the big reasons why only the few find the narrow gate is because of what is known as scriptural censorship, in which we covered in great detail in this scriptural study video last year? And another question: is scriptural censorship and the continuous practices of it attempt to take away, let alone eliminate, what the scriptures actually say, especially with Hanok's 177-day count? And even worse, is this insidious practice of scriptural censorship and its examples that the many who constantly attempt to eliminate and or take away the purpose of all of the scriptural witnesses of light, and what they were originally designed to do, including the morning star, as it relates to numbering our days? And as such, is it true then that only the few are aware of where scriptural censorship originates, let alone why only the few are aware of the ones who support the beast with the obvious non-scriptural practices of scriptural censorship? Is it true then that there are some who are not even aware of what they are doing, let alone who they are actually following? But then again, is it true why there are those who are fully aware of what they are attempting to do with the non-scriptural practices of scriptural censorship? Is it true then as well that we should indeed praise Yah for the approach that noble Bereans take, to indeed know better as they trust YaHUaH alone, and thus do not lean on their own understanding, as they invest their time proving what all the scriptural witnesses of light actually do? Yes, those perfect gifts from above and what they actually do in creation, as per all of the scriptural accounts, including Hanok's 177-day count, year after year. So, in closing, hallelujah for the bright morning star. And until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts, please continue to help each other to seek YaHUaH, our Father of Lights, to further understand how to number our days to bring our hearts to further wisdom. We continue to call upon the name so that these scriptural study videos and articles provide value to you and your loved one. Until next time, YaHUaH willing, all the best in the name which is above all names.